I am here to show you how to gather your veil without breaking a thread. If you're frustrated with gathering your veil and you wonder how on earth do I gather a 108-inch or a 72-inch veil, then you're in the right place. I'm a bridal milliner and I'm sharing all my trade secrets with you, and one of them is how to gather a veil without breaking a thread. All of your supplies will be in the description below, so why don't we jump in and get started. All right, so I have a 72-inch width veil and I wanted to do a thicker width so that I can show you how to boil that down to 2 inches, and we're going to do the whole process. I'm going to show you how I gather this with fishing line, and then I'm going to show you how to put it on a 2-inch comb. And the process will be the same for any comb you do, but I wanted to do the smallest comb I could find so I can show you how it works. It is so much fun. I hated gathering veils before this. It is so much easier. So what I do is I take a little fishing line and I put a safety pin on both sides, and I use this lovely 40-pound fishing line I got from my father-in-law. It's just great and it has lasted forever. And I take about a 36-inch and I work off of that over time, and you'll see what I do here in a moment. But this little piece will carry me through on this one. I might have to cut a new one after this, but I'm going to show you right now how we get started. And what you're going to do is you're going to just put this right in. You're going to give it a little bit of a tail. You're going to go right up to the edge and you're going to lock that first stitch. If you're going to gather a normal veil with thread, you don't lock the stitch, but with this process you do. I'm going to have a 3/4 of an inch seam allowance, and now I'm going to cradle back and forth as we go down this fishing line. I'm going to start with the lock stitch and then we'll go from there. That first stitch is always a pain, I'll tell you. You just got to hold that fishing line wants to go all over the place. So I'm going to just do a little bit and then I'll show you, and then I will continue forward. And as you can see, it's cradled that really nicely. And that lovely, I'll zoom in for you. Because I've ran out, I'm just going to pull this and continue forward. And if you notice, I'm holding this much like I do my ribbon in a letter S. So I'm putting some pressure here, very gently here, and I'm not pulling. I never pull netting this direction. Never pull this direction, never pull this direction, never pull this direction. Always just have a firm hand down. I want to stop and just show you, look at that. It's already gathering back here. It's gathering for you guys. It's gathering for you. And once you get to the end like I did, you're going to go ahead and lock that stitch again. And pull off. All right, so now that you have that all put together like that, what you're going to do now is you're going to go ahead and pull this and go back in. And it's already gotten really nice and straight for me, but I want to make sure, this is very important, that there are no bunchings in the back or in the front. Because sometimes what will happen is you'll dive right in and then there's a piece of the netting over and you'll have to start all over, cut it off. It doesn't work. And so I just like to get those all straight and ready to go this way. I pull this back out a little bit so that I have a tail. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my width to a 2 and my length to a 2. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little tiny zigzag back and forth. And I'm just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with that zigzag in that 2 length, 2 width. And you can keep pulling it here. It's okay now that it's tight and we've got the lock stitch. You can leave this alone back here. Keep pulling it tight because we're trying to get this down to 2. And always check your gathers. I'm only telling you because I know the agony of doing all that work and then having to do it over. And I straddle my fingers like this, continuing to pull that right towards the end. All right, now that we have that all done, it's looking great. I'm going to go ahead and pull it off. I'm not going to cut the fishing line. I'm just going to cut the thread. Only the thread on this side and that side. And so remove those threads. All right, so we have this beautiful ditch that has been created here right there. We're now going to cut all that off, leave the fishing line on because we're going to still use that. And we're going to cut all that little seam allowance that we just put on there right on off. Okay, now that we have this all gathered and ready to go, what we can do now is you can do one of two things. You can pull it tight here and go back into your sewing machine and do another run through with that tight 2 width 2 length and push it even further down to your 2-inch. But we did a pretty good job here, and I can do the next step right now. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take that 2-inch comb. I'm going to adhere it right now on here. And the way that I'm placing this comb would be for a beaded comb. So when I do beaded combs, this is the arch. This will sink into the back of the bride's hair. This side right here will have beading, and I have a comb right here to show you what that looks like. This is a lace comb that I did, and there's a tutorial for that. And this is just exactly what we're doing here, and then I capped it with lace. Another example, I have another beaded comb, same process, and I put a little butterfly on it, and there's a tutorial for this as well. And this is exactly the same process we're doing. Now, if you wanted to do a 5-inch comb or a 3-inch comb, you would measure that out before you do that tight zigzag, and you do the same process that you did for this 2-inch comb. The 2-inch comb is the most complicated, and that's why I'm showing you that. And also too, we have this lovely bobby pin loop, and this is a great feature for brides who have very thick hair. And this is button loop that you get at the store. This will go around or up, around or under an updo, and it's a lifesaver for brides with giant thick hair. But for this tutorial, we're going to do this 2-inch comb, and now that we've got it boiled down pretty good, we're going to go ahead. Everything is wanting to join the party. Look, he's like, I want to be a part of this party. Well, you're not going to, not this time. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to pull that out just a little bit so that you have room to sew. Get your invisible thread in there. We're going to sew that up, and we're going to lock this stitch right at the end. Did we just sew this in here? Yes, we did. This is so much fun. I get to make all these little thingies with you. Now I pulled this out of the way. I'm keeping this on here for a reason, because as you notice, it pulled out. So we are a little bit longer than that 2-inch comb, and that just happens. So what we're going to do is, while it's locked in place, I'm going to pull it back down to the 2-inch. Is that not magical? I can't get enough of that, I tell you. I'm going to put a little bead of glue right under here for extra security, and I'm going to pull that tight. What I'm doing is I'm holding all of this so that this doesn't come apart. You can always put a little clip on there if you'd like, just quick and easy, but I'm just going to do it without it. So I'm already wrestling enough here, and I'm going to go around in a whip stitch. All right, I'm at the end, and so I'm just going to give it a good lock. All right, well, that's in, and that looks great. Oh, we have a little situation over here, so that's not a problem. See how it came off and is off the gather there? Not an issue. What we will do is I will go back over this, which will make it even more secure, and I will go and lock that up. I love it when these little things happen because it's real life. All right, so we push that back in. Now the lovely time of release. So catch and release. We're releasing the veil from the fishing line. Boom, done. This part you're going to pull on out. You're going to cut your little invisible thread off, and now you're going to trim off all of the little excess threads, and this beautiful veil is ready to be placed on a beaded comb. It's such a fun tip, all with fishing line and safety pins. Now that you've learned how to gather your beautiful veil with fishing line, how about you go check out this tutorial that's going to show you how to put it on a comb and how to bead the comb that we put on in this tutorial. Thanks for stopping in. See you later, veil makers.